morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in the US. And greetings to anybody who's watching on replay, either on Facebook or on YouTube. Hope you will enjoy what I'm bringing to you today. I'm going to give people another moment to jump on here. And I hope they'll show up soon. How are you all doing in your homes? You're staying home, I hope, if you can. I think most of my friends can most of the time, which is a good thing. Everyone's staying healthy. We are here. We just saw very encouraging news that new cases are dropping here in Australia and in Victoria in particular, where we live, which is a good thing. Hi, Kayla. Good to see you. You're over where they've got the couple of hospitals closed down in Tasmania, right? Kayla? Is that near you? Hi, Wendy. We'll start doing some stuff here. One of the things I wanted to let you know about is Stampin' Up! Updated the clearance rack yesterday. So if you're looking at getting some bargains, take a look on there. They've got some great deals going on there, including some designer series papers. Oh, Kayla, I'm so sorry. I hope they get them. I heard there was, military doctors and medical staff going in to help open them up. So I hope everyone stays safe until they get that up. I hope everyone stays safe, period. But that nobody needs a hospital while those two are closed down. That's too bad. But here in Australia, we're doing way better than some other places, especially the US right now, which is shameful. But anyhow, moving on to some crafting stuff. The clearance rack has been updated, which is great. And what else? Oh, I wanted to let you know about some things that I've got available on my website, nancysniftynotes.com. I've got 2 new written and video tutorials for that 3D stage card I did for you a couple weeks ago. I renamed it the theater card. So I've got a letter size and an A4 size tutorial. Those are available on my website. I also have the PDF of my April class. It's got pictures and measurements where appropriate, and directions for assembly for the cards for my April class that you can download. And I will have, if you want 5 card ideas using Under My Umbrella, I will have my Under My Umbrella class up there once I get off this live with you, and it's got pictures and directions. So those are available for sale over on my website, nancysniftynotes.com, if you're interested in those. But this one hardly needs a tutorial, but I will show you how to do it. Bruno Bertucci did this, he called it the Scrappy strip technique, and it's really cool, and I'm going to show you 3 different versions of it today. You probably saw the card that I had on my blog 2 days ago. It's one that is still, I believe, in the mail to my dad, trying to get it there for his birthday. That was the 13th, but we'll get there. So I'm going to show you another a version of that one with solid colored cardstock, slightly different colors than I used for his card. You can use any paper that you've got. If you're at home with the kids and you've got construction paper, you can do versions without the dimensionals and one of the layers that I'm going to show you. But this is just so easy to do. You really do kind of have to have some sort of paper trimmer cutter, but you don't need because scissors would just make it hard, but you don't really need a lot of fancy stuff to do it, is what I'm trying to say. So to do this card, you're just going to pick out your colors, your papers, and you're just going to start making strips. And you cut them on an angle, but I mean, that's really all there is to it. There's no measuring. You just cut strips the way you want them. And I'm just gonna cut sort of randomly. And we may or may not use all of a particular color. You can save them and do other cards. So I'm really just eyeballing stuff. I'm not measuring anything. I'm not doing specific angles. It's really that simple. And if you haven't realized it yet, I picked out mostly from the brights. There's a couple of regals in here, but to basically make a rainbow card. And yep, I'm just making scrappy strips like it says. So get a few more in here. So I see I got Nikki, hello, and Roseanne and Gladys. Hi, Karen. These are going to be really long ones. That's fine. You need them to be long enough to go the width of the panel, whichever direction you're going, but it doesn't. There's nothing prescribed about this, which is great. So I think I've got 3 or so of each color, and we'll start assembling now. Just set those aside. Can always come back and make more if we need them. So this is approximately a quarter. This is a little bit smaller than a quarter. No, it's a quarter of a sheet. So that's a good size because we're going to trim it down. But what we're going to do is we're just going to start laying on strips, and you can decide if you've got a particular pattern in mind, but you're just going to put some glue right where it's going to stick on the strip or on the base. So you can see the ends are hanging off, so I don't really want glue on the ends. I don't know that I particularly want stuff to be in rainbow order, but here we go. And I'm just eyeballing the space in between. Yes, it is popular. Isn't it funny how Kylie and Bruno do something and it immediately races around the world? But that's fun. And depending on which way you put stuff, you can kind of change up the angle that the strips are going. Obviously, the thinner the strips you go, the thinner the strips. Let's see if I can talk here today. The thinner the strips, the more of them you will need. That's what I'm trying to convey. You guys have a nice Easter, Passover. Yeah, I thought it was fun to make some bright colors today. I'm really putting these randomly. I'm not even giving much thought as to what order they're in, as long as they're not right next to each other. Yeah, I think everybody had a pretty quiet holiday weekend. If they were doing it right, they did. That's for sure. But let's see. Choices. So, anything exciting happening? Anywhere? Anyone? I think there we go. We are now on week 3. Oh, Gladys, that's hard. We're on week 3 of no. Our heating and cooling system has been on the fritz, and it still is. Okay, so this one I kept a really straight edge at the first line, the first one I put in, because I knew I wanted to be able to trim it. You can use either trimmer. If you have this one, it's pretty cool for this. And if you don't, it's all right too. So there goes all of that. And then I'm just trimming it up to the edges here, and then I'm going to come back in a moment and trim it to the actual size I want, and I'll show you why I'm doing it that way in a moment. So there is the panel itself. Oh goodness. If you don't like a mess, this is an easy mess. It's not like ink everywhere. It's just little bits of card everywhere. Oh. He went to New York to work, huh? Wow. Which hospital is he at? Oh, you're watching Tanya too, Kyla? Yeah, we always go live at the same time, which is, you know, not ideal perhaps. Okay, so this one I'm actually going to make it 9.5 centimeters, and I'm going to cut off that whole strip there, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that once I glue the little bits back on. So that's 9.5, and I need to bring in the other trimmer because that doesn't go far enough. By 13.9. Well. We'll just make it flexible like that. Look at that. Hey, that's actually pretty cool. That worked out there. And I got purple in the middle and purple on each end. That was not planned. And we're going to do the same thing. No, we're going to wait on that. Okay, so let me put these guys. Did you see? Because I didn't have glue all the way to the end. These little ones fell off. But that is easy to just fix. Nope. I'm just putting a little dot of glue right on the base where I want this to stick. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And this is going to mount onto this piece with dimensionals, because this is a Bruno design and Bruno loves his dimensionals, right, Kayla? So I'm mostly using up some edges here. That one, and we'll put one in the middle for good luck. Yeah, I like these colors too. So it's Gorgeous Grape, Gorgeous Grape, Pumpkin Pie, Real Red, Pacific Point, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green. So nice and bright. And then this one is going to also be popped up on dimensionals. Again, a la Bruno Bertucci, who loves his dimensionals. But if you are doing this at home, out of what you've got on hand, construction paper, whatever, you can just make this one panel and then put it on a bigger panel for, you know, your card base and call it good. And it can just be flat, and it's very dramatic with the colors, and you do not have to have all these layers to have a really nice impact. So I'm going to put that on there. And if you're somebody who prefers cards without sentiments, I think that makes a nice impact right there. I'm going to put a dot of glue. for a moment. There we go. But I do like sentiments. So I pulled out last night my old, this is a retired die, and I pulled out, this is also retired. It's they called it black foil, but it's not metallic. It's just very, very glossy. And I thought that was pretty cool on there. And what I should have done was put the double stick self-adhesive on the back before I cut it out, but I didn't, so now I'm doing lots of little dots of glue, and I'm really not squeezing. I'm just really, I've got glue down in the tip, and I'm just really touching it all over. Lay it on there. There, so hopefully that will stay. And then for the inside, I've got a piece, and now I'm going to take this strip that we cut off, and I am going to lay it on. I don't think it matters. Right down to the edge, and then Mount Sinai West. I've got one of my Stampin' friends from the West Valley. Her son is doing his, I think it's his residency in emergency medicine at one of the hospitals in Brooklyn that has been in the news and has been slammed, but yeah, hopefully it's starting to settle down in there. But oh, Kayla, I'm glad you like that. Yeah, that's a Bruno thing. He did that too. So I'm not taking any credit for originality here, except maybe the retired sentiment on the front of this one. But there we go. So there's one fun, cheerful card. And like I said, you can do that out of anything that you've got. I've got 2 more to go. I've done the cutting of the strips already on the other 2 because I didn't think you needed to sit through that again. But this one, it's using, I got that sampler pack. This is from Best Dressed. And, you know, they're 6x6. So once you have cut off what you want for your card front, a lot of times you're left with these strips, which you can use on cards. But this I thought was a great way to use up stuff for this scrappy strip technique. So what I did was I paired it with some of the lovely lipstick foil from last year's celebration, because one of the colors in here is lovely lipstick, and I just thought that was super fun. So let's try layering it up and see how we go. Hey Missy, how's life up in Queensland? So again, it's the same thing, quick, easy. I'm putting this on Old Olive for the contrast in the background, since that's one of the colors in this flowered paper. So on my video and blog post about this, I will include a link to Bruno and Kylie, their video where he shows this to everybody. Not because I think you need his instructions, but he does have the first card that he did with this technique that got lots of oohs and ahs, is pretty cool. And it's based on a piece of Aboriginal art they've got in their house. So you might enjoy seeing that. And yeah. So any pattern paper you've got. This one's nice because it's not particularly directional. I did one with some of the that Come Sail Away suite, and it had sailboats, and I didn't want my sailboats to be upside down, so I had to do a little more thinking on that one, but still, you know, not like brain busting thinking or anything. So, but yeah, non-directional patterns are definitely easier. Oh, it's noisy, Missy. Let's see. We're across the street from two different construction sites. One is the big metro tunnel that they're putting through Melbourne, and that one tends to run 24/7. But they did shut down over the holiday weekend, but they opened up again today. And the other one is a big redevelopment. That's the one I've been posting on my Facebook page, if you saw the construction with all the diggers. And they shut down last Thursday mid-afternoon, and they're closed through today, and they won't open up until tomorrow morning around 7. And that's been a lovely thing for us. It's been nice and quiet, but we will be back in the midst of it, I am sure. Keeping consistent with my spacing? I'm trying to. Let's see what we got here. Another strip if I needed to, but I think this will work out once I trim everything down. Okay. Again, I've kept, you can see how this one, it's hanging off the edge, but that's fine because I've kept this one square to be able to do my trimming. So, let's get it right to the edge here. Yep, that was my rubbish bin that just fell over on the floor with all those little bits and pieces falling out. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Okay. So there's my basic panel again, and I am going to cut it down to 9.5. Oh, and once again, got some bits that didn't quite stay glued on. This one I think maybe we won't glue in. 9.5 by 13.9, and I'm mostly just looking to see where it's going to be a more interesting thing when I cut it. So there we go. And again, we're going to pop that up. So, a reminder, we're doing Scrappy Strip Technique by not Kylie, but Bruno Bertucci. Kylo, there we go. There's the mashup of their names, right? Bruno Bertucci. It's an awesome, fast technique because you don't have to measure when you cut any of these strips. We're just doing a double layer here. And obviously you can mix and match and play it up and make it with this border being contrasting instead of matching. Whoops, oh well. And this one, I've already pre-done a sentiment here. Usually I would put it on and trim it right to the edge, but we're gonna do it this way. This one says, life is better with a friend like you. I think we will try to do that neatly with a couple of dimensionals. There's that one. And then and then there's a piece to go inside there too. And then I went back through, I had a lot of scraps from the, what was it, Wrapped in Plaid. Anyway, they said that the stamp set and the tree are carrying over to the holiday catalog for 2020, which is great. But this paper, which is, I believe, at least here in Australia, on the clearance rack as of yesterday, is not carrying over. But I had a lot of scraps from where we cut out trees. And some of them were just, I mean, there was just a really little bit on each end of it. I'm not quite sure why I saved some of those. Some of them were, you know, pretty substantial. But I did get a whole bunch of strips. So I thought it'd be fun to make a Christmas themed one out of them. Or, so I'm gonna do one more here for you. And I'm just using the plaid side of them. And I couldn't quite decide which color to put as the background, whether I wanted to use blue or cherry cobbler, the Night of Navy, or cherry cobbler, or the shaded spruce. But I went with the Night of Navy. We'll just see how all of these come out together here. This may be too mishmashy, but we'll see. It cost me basically nothing to try, so let's give it a try. Oh, I said we were just going to use the plaid side, but I am going to use this stripe as well. Okay, good. It's on clearance in the States as well. Good. Sometimes it sells out in one market and not in another, and so it goes on clearance in one but not the other. But yeah, if you had the plaids from the what is it? The Country Club. If you like the look, that could be a good option. This one I'm going to use the polka dots. You can see some of these are really, really skinny. That's what I had. So that's what I used. But they work. Stick. Oh, it's sold out already there, huh? Yeah, I haven't checked ours today. So since the paper is cut on an angle, I'm letting that do the, this I make a straight gap, an even gap, and I let the angle of the paper make the angles on the card. I probably don't have to point that out at this point. What do we want to try to get? I see one of these. I'm being very indecisive here. Just go with this one. I'm not sure about this one. We'll have to see how this looks. Let's see here. Well, that is not as bad as I thought. Trimming off those edges does help. It does look pretty Christmassy. Okay, let's trim it to size and see what we think. So, 9.5. You know what, with this one, I think maybe I would go vertically, in part because I do have that one. Okay, so 9.5. This one's cut the wrong size. Okay, hang on a second. Let's try again. I tell you, after a day spent converting stuff from metric to inches, I really regret that the US didn't convert to metric back in the mid-70s the way they promised me they would. They said you have to learn the metric because that's what we're switching to, and then, well, yeah, I feel like Bruno here. Though I know he still would have done more. Looks like books on a shelf. Yeah, I see what you mean. That's what I would do. Get straight. Get straight. Okay, so now here comes the decision. That way. Oh no, Nancy, you did it so that you couldn't. Do you see what I did? Come here. I did. I put it so that if I wanted to do it portrait, my trees would have been upside down. So, there's the question. I kind of like that. Horizontally, huh? Like that? Anybody else? I'm just waiting for people to weigh in here. Horizontally, okay. We will keep doing that. So this is out of the Perfectly Plaid stamp set, the Ho Ho Ho. And I just stamped it on a little strip of white and put a little strip of the gold foil underneath it, since there's all that gold foil in there. And we will put on a couple dimensionals. There like so. And then, thinking that I was going to do it horizontally, I did another sentiment out of there, hoping your busy year comes together in Christmas cheer. So, you have witnessed my first Christmas card of 2020. Woohoo! But as somebody who scrambles to get the last few done, to get them out each year, I don't think I can ever start too early. So, there we go. 1, 2, 3. All done in well under an hour. Oh, see, now Gladys chimes in. She likes it vertically. Well, you know, you'll have to make some of your own, Gladys. They're fun and easy to do after work sometimes. So, thanks, Kayla. I'll have to pop over and see what Tanya's doing. But, yeah, have fun playing with this. I would love to see what you do. Shoot me some pictures. And I will see you with another project next week. Oh, yeah, don't forget, go to my website, nancysniftynotes.com, and take a look at the tutorials I have available in my personal store. And if you want to go shop in Australia, there's the link to my store. Like I said, the clearance rack is freshly updated. And if you're purchasing under $250, if you use this host code at checkout, I will send you a little gift. Thank you very much, and I will see you next week. So long.